Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer. Today we're here for yet another Civilization VI Leader Spotlight, where today we'll be taking a look at Qin Shi Huang of China. So Qin Shi Huang's first ability is known as the First Emperor, and it makes it so that when building ancient and classical era wonders, he can spend his builder charges to complete 15% of the original wonder cost. In addition to this, his builders receive an additional charge. So the First Emperor I don't think is a very good ability for multiple reasons. The first one is that 15% of the original wonder cost in the ancient and classical era normally tends to be about 27 to 30 some production, which is not that much because Magnus is a thing that exists. So chopping woods with Magnus normally will provide around 35 or so production in the early game. So just doing that is straight up better than rushing 15% of the original wonder cost in most cases. Maybe you wouldn't want to do this just because you would want to save your chops for later era wonders, because the other thing that really sucks about this is that after the classical era, this part of the ability is totally gone. You cannot rush wonders. So that pretty much makes it so that in the later eras, the only things that you get from the First Emperor are one more builder charge, which is not that good because in the later eras, whenever you're running, maybe you have Liang and you also have the one of the policies that gives your builders +2 charges. Your builders would normally have, say, like 5 or 6 charges anyways, depending on whether you have like the pyramids or not, so you really wouldn't need one more, so it really just is not that great. It's not that impactful of an ability, so I don't consider it to be all that great. Qin Shi Huang's second ability is known as Dynastic Cycle, and it makes it so that his Eureka's and Inspirations provide 50% of civics and technology costs instead of 40%. So Dynastic Cycles can be really good, but only situationally. The problem with Dynastic Cycles is that in practice, it's very hard to hit every single Eureka and Inspiration, so a lot of the time you're not going to be utilizing it to its fullest ability, because theoretically, if you're getting every Eureka and Inspiration, you're going to be getting all of your techs and civics 10% faster than everybody else in the game. But in reality, you're probably not going to be getting every single Eureka and Inspiration, which really makes it so that this is situationally very good, but it is very inconsistent in when it provides bonuses. And for that reason, that just general inconsistency, I don't think it's very good either. As far as China's unique unit is concerned, we have the Crouching Tiger, which unlocks with machinery, so that's the same time you're going to be getting your crossbowman. The Crouching Tiger has a melee strength of 30, which is the same as crossbowman, a range strength of 50, which is 10 more than the crossbowman, an attack range of 1, which is 1 less than the crossbowman, and a production cost of 160, which is 20 less from the crossbowman. Overall, I don't think that the Crouching Tiger is very good. It can be a very good defensive unit. The only thing that really sucks with the Crouching Tiger though is that it only has the attack range of 1. So the problem with that is that you're gonna have to be adjacent to any unit to shoot it with the Crouching Tiger. And if you are adjacent to a melee unit like a swordsman or a knight, a swordsman has a melee strength of 36 and a knight is 47, I want to say. So if either of those attacks your Crouching Tiger, it only has a melee strength of 30, so it's going to get instantly obliterated, which really sucks. If you're able to put it in maybe like in an encampment district or a city center though, where it can't be attacked, then it can do quite a bit of damage to units. So as a defensive unit, the Crouching Tiger can be very good, but offensively, it's really just not that great. Moving on to China's unique tile improvement, we have the Great Wall, which is a special tile improvement that unlocks with masonry, and you must be building your Great Walls on border tiles, so that's any tile that's touching the edge of your empire, and it doesn't matter if after you build them your tiles expand and that tile is no longer on the edge, just whenever you're actually constructing them, you must put them on border tiles. And in addition to this, you must build them in a line because it has to be a wall, so you can't put it in a big clump because it's not called the Great Clump, it's the Great Wall, so it has to be in a line. And what the Great Wall does is it makes it so that occupying units receive +4 combat strength and 2 levels of fortification, and it provides some yields as well. You get +1 gold for each adjacent wall segment and +1 culture for each adjacent wall segment once castles is researched. The Great Wall as a whole, I don't think that it is very good for multiple reasons. So, occupying units receiving +4 combat strength and 2 levels of fortification, that's the exact same bonus as a fort, except you just get it a little bit earlier, so in most cases I would much rather just plop around a few, just a few dotted forts, rather than taking up so many tiles to put the Great Wall down, because since, you have to take up a tile to put down the Great Wall, you're going to be giving up the ability to build, a mine or a farm or anything like that, and the yields from the Great Wall really are not that good. So since you have to build it in a line, that means the maximum yields that you can get from the Great Wall are 2 gold and 2 culture, which then will eventually become 2 tourism because whenever you research flight, because all tile improvements that provide culture will eventually provide tourism as long as they're being worked once you research flight. So that is something that's a little bit okay, but just plus two gold and +2 culture is in my mind, it's not very worth it compared to getting, a mine that provides plus 3 or 4 production, or a farm that provides plus 3 or 4 food. I would much rather take those over the Great Wall any day, but from a defensive point, you can use the Great Wall early on to kind of give your units a little bit more of a chance whenever they're fighting against, maybe someone that's invaded you by surprise or something like that. So it can be a little bit helpful, but overall, I don't think that the Great Wall is very good. And now let's talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of Qin Shi Huang, the Chinese, in Civilization VI. So for the first strength, it's one thing that I really do like about China. It's that they do have a very strong defensive skill set. So you have the Great Wall, which makes it so that you can get a little bit more defensive strength on tiles if you put units on them, and you get those pretty early on, so you can plan out some Great Walls at, maybe strategic points or choke points or something like that, where people will probably be invading through, and you can use that to just fortify your army a little bit, maybe put some archers on there, and it'll be a lot easier to defend yourself with that. In addition, you also have the Crouching Tiger, which is quite a strong unit from just strictly like a strength standpoint, because it is 10 combat strength higher than the crossbowman, so that is very nice. The fact that it only has 1 range, though, makes it really bad for offense, but if you put it in a city center or encampment or something that it can't be attacked in, then you can really just crush anybody that's trying to attack you. So from a defensive standpoint, both of those are very good things to have. In addition to this, I would definitely recommend playing as like the turtle whenever you're going China, because you want to make sure that you're focusing on your Eurekas and inspirations. So if you're able to just sit there, turtle up, mind your own business, you can focus on all of those, get your bonuses from those, and be on your merry way. So as a defensive and just a turtle civ, I think China is quite strong. As far as weaknesses are concerned, though, one of the big ones is that Wonder Rushing, the Wonder Rushing ability goes away after the Classical era, which really sucks because that makes it so that in all of the later eras, the only thing that you get from Qin Shi Huang's first ability is that your builders get +1 build charge, which really is not that great of an ability, as I mentioned before, because whenever you're in those later eras, most of your builders will probably have at least 5 charges if you're running, if you really want to run one of the policies that gives more builder charges. So getting 1 more isn't going to be too impactful on top of that. And the other thing is, 15% production for later era wonders would be really good, because whenever they cost, like 1,500 production or something ridiculous like that, getting an additional 15% boost on that would be really good. But you can't do that because it goes away after the Classical era, and most of the time, the deity AI will have most of the wonders in the ancient Classical era before you even have the text to get them, so it really is just a pretty sucky ability. The other really big weakness of China is that they are terribly inconsistent. So one thing is, as I've already mentioned multiple times, the wonder thing, and that if you're not able to get wonders because the deity AI is stealing them all, then you're going to lose a lot of your abilities as China. And then after the Classical era, they then lose even more abilities, so already you're losing some consistency. And then their second ability that gives them some additional boosts towards Eurekas and Inspirations is really just inconsistent. It's really reliant on you being able to hit those Eurekas and Inspirations, and compared to just a direct yield boost to Science and Culture, I would take the yield boost any day, because the yield boost, all you have to do is put down whatever gives you the yields, and you get the yields through like the entire game. But with China, you have to make sure you're hitting those Eurekas and Inspirations, and if something happens, like maybe you get attacked, or you're attacking someone else and you're distracted from doing that, you're going to be getting very few bonuses as China. So consistency-wise, they are just all over the place and not very good. And now it is that time to give Qin Shi Huang his tier ranking. So if you're new to the series, what I do is I give each leader a tier ranking in each of the 4 victory types, so Domination, Science, Culture, and Religion, and all of those rankings just kind of gauge the civ's general proficiency at attaining in either of the rankings. And in addition to this, I also give them an overall ranking as well, which takes into account other factors such as their spawn bias, their versatility, their unique attributes, and this ranking just pits them against the other leaders in the game. So all of our rankings go from S to F, with S being the highest and F being pretty terrible. So Domination's up first, and I think Qin Shi Huang deserves a D in Domination. Just because of the fact of the additional boost that you get towards your Eurekas and Inspirations is a big part of playing China, and if you're distracted by war, you're not going to be getting those, and you're going to be losing a big part of like your bonuses as China. So you really don't want to do that. You don't want to distract yourself by going to war. So you're really incentivized not to go to war as China. You could play maybe a defensive war, but why would you declare a defensive war? You wouldn't do that, and that doesn't help you win a domination victory. And in addition to this, they also just get no bonuses towards domination, so no bonuses towards unit production, towards combat strength, towards loyalty, anything of the sort. So I would highly advise going against domination as China, because it really distracts you from getting your other bonuses, and you're really just not good at it in general. So for that reason, I think they deserve a D. As far as science is concerned, I think China deserves a B in science. They really don't have any direct yields to science, or production for that matter, for building space parts, but they do get their additional Eureka bonuses, which can be quite helpful. It can help push you through the tech tree a little bit faster, get the techs before other people do, and start building your space parts earlier than other people, so that can be good. I don't think it's all that great though, as I've mentioned though, because of just the inconsistency of it. So if you're not able to get Eurekas, then you're not going to be getting very many science bonuses, so they're not really all that good, but they do have the potential to be fairly decent at science, so for that reason I think they deserve a B. As far as culture is concerned, more of the same here. I think they deserve a B just because of their bonuses to inspirations, that they get 10% more than other civs. So as long as you're able to hit your inspirations, you're going to be getting 10%, or all of your civics are going to be costing 10% less culture. So this can be quite good. It can help push you through the civic tree a little bit faster. In addition, you do also have the Great Wall, which can provide a little bit of extra culture. I don't consider it to be very good because 2 culture is really not that great, and that you also have to sacrifice other tile improvements to build the Great Wall, so I don't think it's that great. And also, it will provide a little bit of tourism once you research flight, as long as you're working the tiles, so that can be nice as well. But once again, it's just more of the inconsistent slight bonuses and no direct yield bonuses, so for that reason, I think they deserve a B. As far as religion is concerned, I think they deserve a C. They really don't have any bonuses towards religion, but they're also they're not incentivized to go against religion either, so they're just kind of average, and I think they deserve a C. And as far as their overall ranking is concerned, I think they deserve a C. China is an average civ. They're really just okay. They have the potential to be situationally very good as long as you're able to hit all your Eurekas and inspirations, but aside from that, they really don't have much going for them. So whenever you're playing against AI, if you're playing on deity, a lot of the times your first ability that makes it so that you can rush wonders is going to be totally invalidated by the fact that the wonders will be stolen before you can even start to rush them. So that really sucks. And then that ability goes away after the classical era as well, so all that ability is going to do is give you +1 build charge, which is really just not that good. And the fact that their second ability is so inconsistent makes them potentially very good, but a lot of the times it's just going to be rather decent because you'll hit some of the Eurekas and inspirations, but not all of them. So you'll just get a little bit of bonuses, and then aside from that, you know, their unique unit, their unique tile improvement, neither of them are particularly good, but they can use them to turtle up a little bit. So for that reason, China, they're better than terrible, but they're really not that great. So for that reason, I think they deserve a C. So thank you everyone for watching. I've been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for more Civilization VI content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.